Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to part 3 of this month's episode of Gunpla News. Just a reminder, this month's episode is going to be broken up into parts, so if you only want to watch a certain part, you can watch that, or if you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch them together as a playlist on my channel. Now, for this part, we're just going to be covering the updates on kits that we already know are coming out, kits and figures, and I just want to give you just some maybe updated information, or just the information again, if maybe you're hearing about this for the first time. So there's quite a lot of them, and I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time on some of these, as a lot of these I've talked about for a couple episodes already. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first one is going to be the Metal Robot Damashi Series 2 Unicorn Gundam. We still don't have anything except for this kind of teaser image for it, so there's really not anything to report on that. Next, there's the Metal Build Gundam Astray Goldframe Amatsumina. That's going to be out in June for 23,000 yen. So once again, I really like the look of that, but that's really expensive. That's like $200. Then there's the Robot Damashi X Ka Signature Penelope Gundam out in August. Now there is going to be two different versions of this. The normal version is going to be sold for 23,700 yen. And then there's going to be a Marking Plus version where it's got some extra colors printed on the armor for the kind of hexagonal camouflage on there, and that one is going to be 28,000 yen. Looks really nice, really big, and definitely a lot of Penelope coming out with the Model Comprehend, and Mechanicore Penelope is coming out in the third-party realm, and then with this, just a lot of Penelope this year. You are able to separate that and make the flying armor part kind of separate from the Odysseus Gundam, so that is going to be kind of interesting. There is a separate stand for that if you do want to display it as them separately. And still no news on the Robot Spirits X Ka Signature Kasi Gundam missile pod equipment, other than just this same image that we've had for months, so no news there. Next we have the Robot Spirits Freedom Gundam out in August for 5,900 yen. Now we just recently got the announcement that the Freedom Gundam is going to be coming out as an HG Revive model kit, so it's going to be interesting to see how that kit compares with this figure. The figure looks really nice and definitely has a different look from what we've seen so far of the HG, whereas this figure looks very angular and the HG looks a little bit more close to the original art for the Freedom. Next is the Robot Damashi G Stealth out in May for 4,800 yen. That is including the atmospheric pack for that. And one more Robot Damashi coming is the Hyakushiki out in June for 7,000 yen. And the Masquerade 2.0 also comes out in June, and I believe that list price of 7,000 yen is the same list price for the MG. So it's kind of funny that the Robot Damashi and the Masquerade 2.0 are coming out in the same month for the same price. It's going to be interesting to see which one sells more. I think we can probably assume it's going to be the Master Grade, but some people who like the Robot Damashi series and collect those, I'm sure will be buying that one as well. Next, a couple things in the Next Edge line of figures. There's the Next Edge style Wing Gundam Zero EW. That's out in June for 2,500 yen. That looks pretty nice and good for fans of the Wing Gundam, or maybe fans of figures who don't want to build model kits, but for 2,500 yen you could also just buy the RG kit, which I think is probably much better. And the other Next Edge style figure is something that you're soon going to also be able to buy the RG of, is the Double O Gundam and the O Riser. Now this one is out in July for 3,500 yen, so this is actually a little bit more expensive than the RG, but again, for people who prefer figures or like collecting figures, then there's that. But for 3,500 yen you could get the RG for cheaper. So then for something a little bit different, we have the Mega House Cosmic Fleet Special Ryulula. That is the full frontal ship from the Gundam Unicorn series. That's going to be out in May for 4,500 yen. The cool thing about that is that it actually comes with a really small Neo Zeon to go along with it. Still not sure on the scale on that, but it definitely looks really small. Now moving on to exclusive stuff. First the Tamashii Webshop exclusive, and then the P Bandai. For the first, the Tamashii Webshop exclusive Robot Spirits Gundam Crossbone X1 Kai full action version is going to be out in June for 7,000 yen. The Crossbone is something that's also getting a lot of love this year. Next is the Tamashii Webshop exclusive Robot Spirits G Defensor out in May for 4,500 yen. That you're going to be able to have it on its own, or you're going to be able to use that with the Gundam Mark II. And next of all these figure announcements, this is probably the one that's the most interesting for me, is the Tamashii Webshop exclusive Robot Spirits X Ka Signature Nero Trainer Type out in May for 7,000 yen. As I've said on many occasions, I'm a big fan of the Gundam Sentinel storyline and the mobile suit designs from that series, and the Nero is definitely included in that. I'm really hoping that we see a kit of the Nero, possibly in the RE100 line, but not sure about that, but I think it is definitely a possibility. The next Tamashii webshop exclusive is going back to the Next Edge style, and it's the Destiny vs. Strike Freedom Showdown set. This is out in June for 2,000 yen. Once again, this is not coming with the actual mobile suits themselves, this is just the effect parts. So you'll have to have the Next Edge style figures, and then you can buy this effect part set to recreate the kind of very iconic scene from the anime. Now, speaking of the G Defensor being able to be used with the Gundam Mark II, the Tamashii webshop exclusive Robot Spirits Gundam Mark II Titans version is going to be coming out in July for 4,500 yen. Now, the Titans version is an online exclusive. The AUG version was already released earlier this year as just a standard release. The cool thing about the Titans version is that it is coming with some marking stickers, I guess, to choose whether you want the mobile suit to be 01, 02, or 03. And last of the Tamashii webshop exclusives is the SDX Kasi Gundam Dai Shogun, out in July for 10,800 yen. Really expensive, but it is able to transform, and for fans of these kind of SD Musha style figures, yeah. Next, moving on to some premium Bandai stuff, we've got the Gundam Converge Full Armor Knight Gundam and Musha Gundam. These are not going to be sold as a set, but sold separately for 1,500 yen each. So a little bit pricey, but they definitely look a little bit more intricate maybe than the normal Converge figures, so that is maybe part of the reason. The other reason that the price is high is just because it's an online exclusive, of course. Next is the P Bandai Master Grade Zaku 2 High Mobility Type Gabby Hazard Custom. This is basically just the Master Grade 2.0 Zaku High Mobility Type, just in a new color scheme. Now, that's going to be out in June for 5,000 yen. One special thing that it does have, aside from just being a color swap, is that it does come with some custom waterslide decals, so that's kind of nice. The price is a little bit high, but when you consider maybe the price of buying just the standard release version of the High Mobility Type Zaku, and then the waterslide decals, it kind of makes sense. Anyway, I really like the look of this, and that's something that I would like to get, but I don't know if I will. Then, because that custom version is being released, they're also going to be re-releasing a couple of other premium Bandai Zakus that have come out in the past. First one being the Master Grade Zaku 2 Johnny Ridden Custom. The High Mobility Type Johnny Ridden Custom is a standard release in the Master Grade Zaku 2.0, but the non-High Mobility Type, just the regular Zaku 2, is going to be a premium Bandai exclusive that was released last year and now going to be re-released again this June as well for 4,000 yen. And the other one would be the premium Bandai Master Grade Zaku 2 High Mobility Type Yuma Lightning Custom. Now, similar to the Gabby Hazard Custom, this is just a color swap with new decals. So instead of the brown and black for Gabby Hazard's custom, for Yuma Lightning's custom, it's in blue and white and black. Like the other two, this one is also out in June, but this one is going to be costing 4,800 yen. Next, moving on to something that I want to be excited about, but I'm still not sure as we haven't really seen much about it yet, is the premium Bandai 1/100 scale G-Falcon that's able to be used with the Master Grade Gundam XX, which I've got here. It's somewhere around halfway assembled at the moment. The Master Grade XX is made to fit the G-Falcon, and the previously released, the very old released 1/100 scale G-Falcon is able to fit onto that, as we've seen in some other modelers' builds. And so that just makes me think that the premium Bandai version is just going to be basically a re-release of the old 1/100 scale. So what they're probably going to do is just change up the colors a little bit and give us some new waterslide decals for that. So that's pretty cool, but the old one is pretty old, so it's not really up to like the kind of high quality that we're going to expect like from the Master Grade itself, which is just brand new and very nice, and then putting on something that's really old onto it. I just hope that it's able to mesh well and that the look of them is kind of goes together well. but still no news for a release date or a price for that. I imagine in a couple weeks at the Shizuoka Hobby Show we're probably going to see something more about that, and we're probably going to see like the full kit there on display with the XX. Next is the P Bandai HGUC Stark Jegan. This is the Char's Counterattack MSV version. It's out in June for 2,400 yen. Then one more Jegan in the Premium Bandai HGUC Jegan Type A. This is the F91 version, out in May for 1,800 yen. And just to reiterate one more time is that you are able to make the normal type, the A type, and the B type, all of the F91 versions of the Jegan. Still hoping that maybe sometime soon we'll get some news of a master grade release for the Jegan, but who knows. Next is the P Bandai HGUC Crossbone Gundam X1 Kai, out in May for 2,000 yen. It just comes with some new weapons and the cloth cloak, and it's just kind of generally looks a little bit more exciting than the standard release Crossbone X1 that we got previously, so I am really looking forward to this kit. Then there's still one more Crossbone yet. It's the Premium Bandai HGUC Gundam Crossbone X2 Kai. So we have the X1 Kai, and now the X2 Kai is also coming out as a Premium Bandai exclusive. This one is out in June for 2,000 yen, and it does seem to be coming with quite a bit more different parts than the original release, as it is going to have different backpack, a different rifle, and then I believe it's got a little bit different part for the head, so that is going to be pretty cool. That sold out really quickly here in Korea, I know. The Premium Bandai website, they have a different version of that here in Korea, like through Bandai. It's a Bandai site, but the dates of when things come out, when things are available to pre-order is a little bit different, and that was available to pre-order for like a day or 2 days, and it was already, all the pre-orders were already sold out. So a lot of people were complaining online in like the Korean online community of how quickly that sold out here, and I think it's just going to be a really popular kit. Still quite a bit more P Bandai yet, as we're now moving into some effect parts, is the HGUC V2 Wing of Light effect parts, out in May for 1,600 yen. One cool thing about this set is that it does come with 2 sets of the Wing of Light effect parts, one in blue and one in pink. So you have the choice, or you can put one on your V2 Assault Gundam and then one on your just normal V2 Gundam. So that is pretty nice about that. The only thing is that you are only getting one stand, so if you want to use both on the 2 different kits, you're going to need another stand. Just something simple like an Action Base 1, like that. Sorry, I mean an Action Base 2. One thing about those stands that they usually give you packed in with HG kits is that there is no articulation. Like with an Action Base like this, you can change the angle of it, you can change the height of it, you can change the tilt of it at the top there. So you're able to use it very well to get some very nice dynamic poses. But with that stand, the Action Base, that base that you're getting with that effect part, and with some other HG kits, it's just one pose, so it does kind of limit your possibilities a little bit. And because that effect part is being released, they are going to re-release 3 previously released Premium Bandai effect parts. So the first one being the P Bandai RG Strike Freedom Full Burst Wings of the Sky unit. That's out in July for 1,900 yen. That does come with an Action Base 2, I believe, and the effect parts, so that is a little bit better because, like I said, that Action Base is articulated, which is good. The other one is the P Bandai RG Destiny Gundam Wing of Light effect unit, out in July for 1,600 yen. And this one, again, is coming with the articulated Action Base 2, which is nice. The effect parts themselves I was a little bit disappointed with personally, but the fact that it's coming with that base instead of the fixed pose one is nice. The last one is the P Bandai HG Turne Gundam Moonlight Butterfly effect part for 1,700 yen, once again out in July. And this one is only coming with the fixed pose base, and sadly it's molded in that very ugly kind of translucent white nasty color. Then next is the P Bandai SD Legend BB Full Armor Knight Gundam Legendary Giant version, out in May for 2,700 yen. Now this one I think is just having some new parts that are going to be like metallic coated parts, and then it is also coming with a new kind of bow and arrow weapon for it as well. And finally, the last of the premium Bandai kits is the RG RX-78 Gundam Clear Color Version, the Art of Gundam Limited Edition. So this is kind of to go with the Art of Gundam art exhibition that's going on, and this one's going to be out in July for 4,500 yen. Now that's it for premium Bandai, and before we get to the just normal release kits, there is one other thing I need to talk about, and that is the Assault Kingdom Full Armor Unicorn Gundam. This is out in June for 2,500 yen. 2,500 yen I think is a really good price considering everything that you're getting in with this. You're able to make the Unicorn Gundam, of course, as well as the Banshee Norn, the Phoenix, the Full Armor Unicorn Gundam, and the Plan B Unicorn Gundam. Now, you're only getting the one V-fin, it is the just normal Unicorn V-fin, so although you have the parts and the weapons to make all those different versions, the V-fin is only going to be the standard V-fin. You're also getting the base jabber, which can serve as a platform for all the weapons if you want to store them on there, or it also serves as the base for the mobile suit itself. I think this looks great, and this is something that I would definitely consider buying, but I believe this has an order stop at the moment from HLJ, so no more pre-orders from them. You'd have to pre-order from someone else, I guess. But anyway, let's talk about some kits, starting off with Build Fighters. We have the HG Build Fighters Denial Gundam out very soon in May for 1,800 yen. We're seeing the box art now. It looks pretty nice. I don't know, I'm not really a huge fan of this mobile suit, so I'm not really excited about it at all. It does come with a lot of effect parts similar to the Try Burning Gundam and the Build Burning Gundam, but these are going to be in like a clear purplish pink. It's also kind of sparkly, so we're getting a lot of different effect parts for this, including the like articulated ponytail and like the butterfly wing looking hair effect parts, and then like just a normal kind of hair effect parts that looks kind of similar to like the Nobel Gundam. So lots of options there. And then yeah, I don't know, I just certain parts of the design just not really for me. I do like the fact that it's got like really huge legs. I do like kits like the Shinanju and the Unicorn Gundam that are very Katoki style, like long huge legs, but this one, I think, I don't know, the skirt armor I think is a little bit too long and compared with those legs, it doesn't really look good for me, I don't know. But moving on to another kit that I'm also not very sure about is the HG Build Fighters Gundam The End. This one is also coming out this month in May for 2,200 yen. And we are finally revealed that the chest is able to open up and you're getting that weird alien coming out of the inside. When we saw this on the show, it was strange, and from what we saw on the show, it looked like this. Here's a still from the show. It looks basically just like a simplified version of the Unicorn Gundam in Unicorn mode with its like one horn coming out, because you know it came out and like drilled the Lightning Gundam. But now in the kit form, they've got it in what would essentially be kind of destroy mode, where the V-fin is open and it's got the arms. It had arms in the anime, but I mean we saw it too quickly to really see them. But just seeing it now, like in the kit form, it looks so weird. I don't know, there's nothing wrong with it being weird, but I don't know, it's not really for me. The shoulders are also able to open up, and I guess there's going to be like a sticker in there to make like the glowing eyes that you're able to see like when the shoulders open up. So it kind of makes the whole front of the mobile suit look like a face with like a mouth and then the eyes on the shoulders. So I don't know, I don't really like that at all. And then just other things about the kit as well. Once again, those huge yellow hands are just holes in the back of the fingers. That just seems really lazy as well on Bandai's part. And this also just looks like it's going to be a very sticker heavy kit, so if you're the kind of person who doesn't paint your kits, just be prepared to be putting a lot of foil stickers on this, it looks like. Then of course we have the high grade Build Fighters Gundam Trion 3. It's going to be out a little bit later in June for 2,800 yen, and now that price is a little bit high for an HG, considering that's almost the same price of like for, well, it is more expensive than some RG kits, but I think it's basically just because of the sheer size and the amount of plastic that we're getting with this, and that it is a totally new kit. So although it is based on the Double Zeta Gundam, that is not going to be using any of those parts at all, because this is able to separate into the 3 units, the Manta unit, the Bird unit, and the tiger unit, lion unit. So you're able to separate them or join them together to make the Trion 3. I do like that we're getting the effect parts for like the wings for the bird by itself, and then the effect parts for the huge sword as well, which is using like the bird's head. But I think it looked really good in the anime, but in the kit form it looks kind of goofy holding the huge sword handle with the huge bird head, and like the effect parts just look, I don't know. If you're a fan of that kind of like super robot kind of, I don't know, I want to say Power Rangers, but I know there's like other anime series that it's actually closer to, but I don't know about that because it's just not really my cup of tea. But if that's the kind of thing you're into, it looks like a really cool kit, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with that. So anyway, next, moving into something a little bit more cute, is the 1/144 scale Poochie guy that's going to be out in May this month for 500 yen each. Now there's going to be 4 different colors, all sold separately. The Burning Red, the Lightning Blue, Winning Yellow, and Future Pink. Now these look pretty cool, and I believe there's an order stop already on all of these at HLJ, so I'm sure these are going to be very hot sellers for 500 yen each. I'm sure people are going to be buying a lot of them for just some little displays around their house or desk or whatever. Okay, and the last thing from Build Fighters is actually the high grade build custom set for the Balden arms. Now before we were thinking it was the Bolden arms, but now they've changed it to the Balden arms. I don't know, the name's kind of goofy, but it's out in May for 800 yen each, and it does look pretty nice. Some of the parts, like add-on parts coming with it, just seem kind of random. But the nice thing about it is that it comes with a lot of joint parts. Now those joints are going to be great for people who do custom building or scratch building, as those joints look really, really nice. And those are going to be really nice for people, like if you have a first grade kit, for example, that the elbows don't bend, all you got to do is cut out that elbow part, put in this joint, put in a couple polycaps, and you're good to go. So that's going to be really nice. Okay, now moving on to Reconguista and G. If you saw recently, I just did a review for the Elf Bullock, and I was very disappointed, as I was also with the Space Jahannam a little whiles back. So I'm kind of tired of HGRC at the moment. I just don't really trust the kits to be any good at all anymore. And from basically what we can see about the next few kits from the series coming out, it looks like the same story. The first one is actually one that does look really cool. I do really like the design of this. Is the HGRC Gastima. This is out in June for 1700 yen. I really like the design, but I just don't trust that the kit is going to be any good. I'm sure it's going to have the same flaws that the other kits have had, of just terrible hands, terrible seam lines, terrible articulation in some areas. Some areas the articulation is really good, some areas the articulation is really, really lacking. But there are a lot of things to like about this kit. I do really like the design of the head. I do really like the asymmetry of the shoulders and the arms. If you look carefully, the arms are actually 2 different colors. And I do like that the beam sabers are on wires. That's pretty cool and unique. And it looks like, I can't really tell, but from this picture it looks like it does have some clear parts on the back. Kind of similar to how the HG Gion had the clear parts on the backs of the hands. So it looks like maybe this has something similar on the back of there. Next is the HGRC Dahak. This is out in May for 1800 yen. This again has some parts of the design that look pretty interesting, but I just can't trust that this is going to be able to do what it should do. This mobile suit is supposed to be able to like emit those beam shields from its hands, but as I've seen in previous kits, the wrist movement is just really, really limited, so I don't think this is going to have the wrist movement to be able to move its hands up the way that it should. Hopefully they fixed it, especially for this kit, because that's such a key point of the mobile suit, but I'm not really sure if they have. We'll just have to wait and see. The other thing about the hands, aside from them being really huge and ugly, is that the inside of the hand looks like we're going to have a sticker for the inside of the hand, because there is some color details there for like emitting the beam shield. And so it looks like it's coming with just a foil sticker that you just slap on the inside of the hand. It looks stupid, it looks ugly. And with feet like that, like it does, it looks like it's probably going to be coming with a stand, although I'm not totally 100% sure on that yet, but I think it is going to be coming with a stand for it. Not like the really tall, huge one that we saw with the Elf Bullock, but maybe just the smaller kind of normal HG one. And one more from Reconguista and G is the high-grade Kabakali. This is out in July for 2,000 yen. Now that we're seeing this in color in the black, it does look a little bit more interesting just because we don't often see a whole lot of kits coming out in black like that. But I'm just still not sure about the design. I mean, the design looks like some sort of mix of like something from Gundam Victory, which had some really strange designs, especially for like the antagonist mobile suits, and then like something from G-Unit, like the Gundam Wing Side story, where they are just kind of look like a little bit different. This looks like some sort of mix between the two of those. And the kind of saw parts that go out on wires look really cheap. I mean, they look like really cheap. But again, we're only just seeing just this really small picture so far. Could definitely be wrong about that, but just from what I can see so far, it doesn't look good at all. Personally, when it comes to Reconguista and G and how I've been so disappointed with the kits so far, I kind of wish that Bandai would have just made just like 1/48 scale head busts for all these HGRC kits. Like we had the head bust for the G-Self that came with the Hobby magazine before. A lot of these mobile suits have really interesting and really unique head designs that I personally really like, so I would have liked to have just had some, like a series of head busts from the series would have been probably better than the kits that we've got so far. Now let's take it into HGUC and go with the HGUC V2 Assault Buster Gundam. That's out very soon, this month, for 2,000 yen. And we now can be totally sure that the gold parts are not in gold, but that kind of just molded yellowish gold, not even like the kind of ugly yellow gold that we've had before, but more yellow than gold, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. Either way, you're just going to be better off painting that gold, I think, or whatever color you want to go with. The other thing about it is that it looks like it's also going to be another very sticker-heavy kit, so if you're the kind of person who doesn't paint your kits, just be prepared to have a very yellow color for your gold and to have a lot of stickers on there. Next is the HGUC RX-78-2 Gundam Revive version. That's out in June for 1,000 yen, very low price for what looks like it's going to be a very nice kit. One odd thing about that is that from the last time I checked, this is still not available for pre-order at all from HLJ. Other websites might have it available for pre-order. I haven't checked because I basically only use HLJ, other than if there's something I want to order here in Korea. But for 1,000 yen, that's going to be something that I hope a lot of people will be buying up. And then next is the HGUC Gun Cannon Revive version. Now this one is a little bit more expensive, 1,200 yen, but still very cheap. This one's out in June, and like the Gundam, this one is sporting some nice new articulation, very nice articulation there, and as well as some just improved qualities in the molding, as in there's not going to be so many seam lines. It looks like it's very light on the seam lines, and any seam lines that I can tell from the pictures look to be in some pretty easy areas to fix. So then moving on to Gundam the Origin, and we have the HGUC Gun Tank Early Type. So this is out this month in May for 1,700 yen. The details and articulation of this look really amazing. I can't wait to see what some people do with this. It's not something that I'm planning on picking up anytime soon, but I do anticipate seeing a lot of really nice builds of this kit. And then we're also getting the HGUC Zaku 2 Black Tri-Star High Mobility Type. This is also from Gundam the Origin, and we are getting this in July, so a little bit later, for 2,200 yen. Now it comes with the long rifle or the bazooka, but no axe for that, and what I'm imagining is that probably the huge axe is going to be a magazine pack-in, I believe, possibly with the Dengeki Hobby magazine, maybe with the last issue of the Dengeki Hobby magazine, but maybe not, because that's going to be coming out something like a month or two before the release of the kit, so maybe not. But that might be something that's available from Dengeki Hobby's online limited sales that they're going to be probably doing later. The only reason I think that it might be from Dengeki Hobby is because they had this picture on the cover of the most recent issue, where you can see the high mobility type Zaku 2 there in the background. sporting the giant axe. Now obviously that's just someone's custom scratch build probably, but it just kind of makes me think that maybe they're going to be the ones to release that later. Next, finally moving into the 1/100 scale, is the RE100 DJ out in June for 3,500 yen. Now we are finally seeing some color images of the kit, or I should say images of the color molded kit. Now when we first got the original art for this, I loved the art that they gave us. Here you can see here, I really liked that and I was really excited for this kit, but then when we got the production kind of prototype for the mobile suit, for the kit, I didn't like the changes they made to it, changing some of the proportions around. I think they slimmed it down a little too much and the head just doesn't look quite right as well. And now we're seeing it in color and it looks like that's what they're going to be going for. They weren't changing it back at all. So I don't really like the look of it right now, but I don't know, as we get to closer to the release date, we'll see if my mood changes about it at all, but for right now I don't really like the look of this kit. One nice thing about it though is that they've made the wings on the back very not so obvious, because the wings are really goofy, definitely very dated, kind of matching the era of when the mobile suit was actually first designed, when it first appeared in the anime. The wings look kind of stupid, but at least they're not very obvious on the kit, so that's good. One interesting point is that this is coming out in the same month as the Hyakushiki 2.0, and it looks like the beam rifle and the bazooka are going to be the exact same mold, the exact same parts, the same runner as the Hyakushiki 2.0. As we'll get to that in just a minute, we'll see a little bit more about that. But it looks like those weapons are going to be exactly the same, so I don't know if what's going to be printed on the runner, if the runner is going to say RE-DJ or RE Hyakushiki 2.0, but looks like they're going to be sharing that runner or runners. But most of all, despite what I feel about this particular design, this particular kit, I really like the RE100 line, just for the fact that we are getting releases of these kind of more obscure mobile suits. The Gerbera is just released and mine should be somewhere in the mail coming right now. I'm really excited for that kit. The Mark III I thought was pretty cool. I'm not really planning on getting it anytime soon, and the same thing for the Nightingale. But I just like the fact that at least they're making these kits, so I'm really excited to see what future releases we're going to be getting from this line. I really hope that they continue to do the line, and that the line doesn't fall into something similar to like the Mega Size did, where they just made a few and then kind of gave up on that. So I hope they stick with this and keep making some really nice, some of these more obscure mobile suits, so that'll be really cool to see what comes out in the future. And finally, Master Grade. We've got the Master Grade Gundam Fenice Renacida out in June for 4,800 yen. I do kind of like the look of this. I really liked the look of the HG, and the Master Grade just doesn't really seem to have the same look. I don't know, I'm sure it does, but for some reason it just looks a little bit different to me. I do really like the huge rifle that it has. The cool thing is that you are able to separate the rifle into 3 parts. We have the main rifle, and then a pistol, and then sort of a like beam sword bayonet. Now you are able to combine the pistol and the sword bayonet part to make a second rifle, so you can have them holding to the main beam rifle and the secondary kind of beam rifle bayonet sword thing as well. The shield also looks really nice, just because it's so huge for one, and it is articulated in that it's going to have a few areas where you're able to move the shield, so that looks really nice as well. The beam cloth effect parts, on the other hand, I have a little bit mixed feelings about. I think they do look nice for the most part, except for the area where they actually connect onto the shoulder armor. They made that articulated, which is good, but it just kind of ruins the effect that they're going for, where it's supposed to look like a beam effect coming out of there, but where it's got points of articulation just kind of ruins the look of that, I think, a little bit for me. But anyway, I'm hoping to get that kit to be able to show it to you guys. I'm not sure at this point if I am going to be able to or not, but if I can, I'll definitely look forward to showing you guys that kit. And finally, we have the Master Grade Hyakushiki version 2.0 out in May for 7,000 yen. It looks like it's going to be a really great kit. I'm sure all the armor is going to be undergated, and the color that they've chosen for the gold looks very, very nice. It looks miles better than the old Master Grade version, where it's kind of that more titanium gold kind of color. And it's better than the Master Grade Phoenix that we saw, I think, at the beginning of last year, where that was also a very titanium kind of gold finish, where it's very, very easy to damage that look. And at least for this kit, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more easy to preserve that gold finish on it. Now in this picture, they're showing off how the leg can be folded for the transformation. I'm not really sure why, as the Hyakushiki isn't really supposed to transform. No, one thing I am pretty sure of is that the inner frames for the legs are just going to be copied from the Master Grade Delta Gundam. Now I can't be 100% sure on that, as we haven't actually seen the runners for the kit yet, but just from what we can see so far and the fact of how it is able to bend like that, just makes me think that the inner frame, at least for the legs, is just copied from the Master Grade Delta Gundam. Or, I'm sorry, Delta Plus. The other thing that they're showing us in these pictures that I'm not really too sure about what exactly they're trying to show us is that they're showing 3 different heads, and in one picture you can see a little bit of a difference between the 3, and in another picture I can't really see any difference at all. But from what I can tell of the Japanese, I think basically what they're trying to say is that there's 3 different options for the camera eye on it, or basically like the visor. So I'm not sure what exactly that means, as far as maybe just the parts that you can put behind the clear parts. Maybe it has 3 different options there, I guess, but not really sure about that yet. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be a super nice kit. Here we can see the box art for it, and the box art looks really, really nice. I do really like that. Really excited to see more of this kit as it gets closer to the release date. And so, yeah, that's going to be very, very nice. So anyway, that's it for all of the updates, guys. Like I said, there was a lot of them. So anyway, in the next part, we're going to look at some third-party releases, and then the last part's going to be some featured artists. So if you want to see those, make sure you stick around and watch for those parts. Or like I said, these videos are in a playlist. If you want to watch all of the Gunpla news for this month, you can watch that playlist on my channel. So thanks for watching, guys. See you in part 4.